A quick word to let you know that if you pledge $10 or more to the Creative Control Patreon page throughout April 2017, you will receive one Creative Control t-shirt while supplies last. I have the maroon one with my head on it, and the sort of yellow one with the pizza lettering, and in unisex, small, medium, large, and extra large sizes. So if you'd like to support the show and receive a small, medium, large, or extra large token of my appreciation, visit patreon.com/creativecontrol to view the shirts and pledge $10 or more today. Thanks.
Hi, I'm comedian Maz Jabroni. If you've seen any of my specials, you know that at the very beginning, I like to dance. Now, a lot of people go, Maz, what kind of dance is that? I'll tell you what kind it is. It's a Persian dance. And here I am going to show you how you dance Persian. It's very simple. All you got to do, you got to listen for the music. Listen for the music. When you hear it, your eyebrows start to dance. Your eyebrows start to dance. Your shoulders start to dance. Your shoulders start to dance. Then you get the hands in. Get the hands in. Screw the light bulb. Screw the light bulb. Screw the light bulb. Now move your body. Move your body. Move the hips. Move the hips. Here we go. Here we go. You dance a Persian. And the snap. It's a Persian snap. Persian snap. Persian snap. Persian variation. Variation. Variation on the snap. Variation. There you have it. Oh, oh. There you have it. Oh, oh, oh. That's the song. Listen. I'm going to go. I'm going to show you how it's done. All right? Follow me. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Maz Jabroni!
Maz Jabroni is an outspoken stand-up comedian and actor based in Los Angeles, California. A proud Iranian-American, Jabroni has made appearances on late-night TV shows, taped comedy specials for Netflix. He wrote the best-selling book, I'm Not a Terrorist, but I've played one on TV. He's starred in films like Jimmy Westwood, American Hero, and he currently appears as a character named Foz on the CBS sitcom Superior Donuts, which just got picked up for its second season. Jabroni will be in Montreal July 12th to 27th in the year 2017 to host 19 performances of The Ethnic Show, a beloved segment at the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival. He was in Toronto recently for a show of his own, and I caught up with him for a brief chat about Donald Trump's first 100 days in office, domestic racism and racist immigrants, The Ethnic Show, and much more. Sponsored by Pizza Trocadero, The Bookshelf, and Planet Bean Coffee, this is the 315th episode of Creative Control with me, your host, Vish Khanna.
What's up, Los Angeles? Oh my God! How are you guys? Woo, I'm tired. Good night, Los Angeles.
Hi, Maz. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks for being on this show. I understand you are in Canada as we're speaking?
Yes, I'm in Toronto. I had a show last night and doing some press today, and then I will fly back to Los Angeles where I live.
Oh, very nice. How was your show?
The shows were great. We did it at the Toronto Center for Performing Arts. We did 2 shows, and it was fantastic. The audiences were great. It's good to be in Canada now, given the political environment in America. It's nice to get away and come to places where immigrants and refugees are accepted.
Yeah, for the most part, that's true. I think, relatively speaking, that's definitely true. We've heard a lot of Americans say, well, maybe not a lot, but a frequent thing that Americans were saying certainly during the election cycle was that they might leave America for Canada.
Yeah,
so Canada became this place that might be a refuge for disgruntled Americans. Would you ever consider moving to Canada?
You know, every time I come to the different cities, I really enjoy it. Although I got to be honest with you, I live in Los Angeles where it's warm like 9 months out of the year. So even today in Toronto in the middle of April, I'm freezing my ass off. So part of me, I enjoy visiting. I'm not sure if I would make the move. I do love the country as a visitor, but it's always pleasant that way. I'm sure you guys have your complaints and stuff, but you do seem like a nice place to live. If I ever wanted to move away from America, I'm sure it would be somewhere I would definitely consider.
So your concerns are for the actual climate and less the political climate?
Yeah, listen, I mean, the political climate is very charged, and it's got me charged as well as an Iranian American. I'm talking about it a lot on stage. I just taped my new Netflix special at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., and I would say a good 20, 30 minutes of my act was all about Trump and just the disaster of Trump. But that said, your life goes on and you just got to deal with it. And I think part of what's great about America, and I think part of what's great about Canada as well, is that we can talk about our political leaders in public. We can say things and criticize them, at least for the time being. Let's see how the next couple of years go with the executive orders that Trump keeps putting out. You never know. Maybe he'll shut us down.
Yeah, I think in some cases it's quite obvious what those disasters that you're referring to might be. But can you pinpoint that when you talk about your act and what you've been discussing about Trump? Because we are not even at 100 days as you and I are speaking right now. What are you talking about specifically in terms of because there's so many kinds of disasters.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, first of all, it's interesting because it feels like he's been in power for like 100 years. He came in just swinging with these executive orders, and one of the ones that really got me charged was the travel ban.
Yeah,
and how they were trying to sell it to the public as for America's safety and to keep terrorists out of the country. And none of the countries that were on the travel ban had ever committed an act of terror in America, but yet they were trying to sell it as that. And that really upset me. And as an Iranian American, I was hearing stories of people being affected by it. Families were being torn apart. There were people that needed medical attention that weren't getting it. And they were just trying to downplay all that stuff. There was just no humanity to it. So that was a very personal one. But then every day in the news, I turn something on and I just got to shake my head. I mean, the guy has proposed a budget that is going to cut the Environmental Protection Agency by billions of dollars. And then he's got the balls and the gall to go out and say that he's donating $75,000 of his paycheck to the parks services.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm supporting the environment. And I'm like, really, dude? It's just so hypocritical. Take the bombing in Syria. He sends a bunch of missiles into Syria to make a point. And first of all, the way he even comes to that conclusion is he gets on the news and goes, I saw that the image of those people suffering from the sarin gas, and I realized that we need to do something. And I'm sitting there going like, dude, those images were horrible, but you are the president of the United States. You should know that this has been going on for several years. There's hundreds of thousands of people that have been victimized by this. And he goes, yeah, I saw this video, and then that's when I decided to send these bombs. But then, of course, his policy on accepting refugees has not changed. So, I mean, there's disasters galore. Every day there's something new that he brings about, whether it's environmental, whether it's anti-immigrant. And by the way, it's him not taking responsibility for his rhetoric as well. He and his supporters, a lot of times, his surrogates, they say, oh, his words, don't listen to his words. He's just saying things. Don't take him seriously. But I am taking him seriously, and as are other people. He's really emboldened a lot of racists. He's emboldened a lot of hatred, hate crimes. There was a guy in Kansas who goes out and shoots 2 Indians and goes and claims that he shot 2 Iranians. I mean, he needs to take responsibility for that stuff. And I just, the Russian scandal. I mean, what did happen in Russia? He won't show his tax returns, and maybe there's nothing in there, but show it. And then he has again, and then he comes and says someone should investigate who was funding the protests against my taxes. Yeah. And it's like, dude, the whole country's been asking for this stuff. So yeah, it's a daily basis, and really, I actually sometimes have to tune out because it just makes me too angry. I've been enjoying watching clips from Stephen Colbert's monologues. Those help me get through all this because he makes me laugh.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, actually. And as you're speaking, I couldn't help but think of your duality as an Iranian American. You have the right to be offended by this man and his policies on at least 2 levels. Do you find that are you any more offended as an immigrant than you are an American concerned about your country?
Well, yeah, it's a little bit of everything. It's interesting because when first of all, there were a lot of immigrants who supported him. There were Iranians who voted for him, and I say a lot of Iranians voted for him because they wanted fewer taxes, and they ended up with fewer relatives.
Right.
But it's interesting because when I was criticizing him on social media, the ones that supported him, some Iranians that supported him, they would come and they would criticize me. They go, "Why are you criticizing Trump instead of criticizing the Islamic Republic of Iran that's suppressing people and this and that and doing all this stuff?" And I'm going, dude, I don't live in Iran, and I do not support the Islamic Republic at all. I know that they are an extreme government that suppresses people's rights, and that's an obvious thing. It's like I don't need to come out and say, criticize the Islamic Republic of Iran because I live in America, and that's the country that I am living in right now, and I am criticizing this leadership because it's my right to criticize that leadership. And I could say stuff about about Iran, but first of all, a lot of people in the West don't even know what's going on internally in Iran. Mm-hmm. I personally don't know what's going on internally in Iran. I just know that generally speaking, I'm opposed to the regime. And so it was interesting because you're right. I consider myself more American when it comes to my politics, and I am offended as an American against what Trump is doing. And then as an Iranian immigrant, or just as an immigrant, I'm offended because I thought about this. The way they tried to implement that travel ban, it was so poorly executed.
Yeah.
And then they turn around and they go, well, the Obama administration put a lot of these countries on that list. And I go, well, if they put those countries on the list, then why don't you guys correct it and take them off the list and really put on countries that may have people coming that are actually dangerous, or maybe don't even put countries on there, but continue to do your vetting the way you vet. I mean, we have already a hard vetting process of letting people immigrate to America, and then he starts claiming extreme vetting. I've got better ways of doing it, and I just don't know. He just seems to just talk out of his ass, and yeah, it just doesn't. I'm constantly shaking my head with this guy. And the thing I thought about when the travel ban happened, they were turning people away at the airport and sending them back to the country that they came from. Or I was hearing reports from. I was listening to reports on National Public Radio about families. Like there was a Syrian refugee family that was living in a refugee camp. I think somewhere, maybe it was in Kenya or it was in Jordan or something. And they had been vetted, and it was a family.
Yeah.
And they'd sold all of their belongings in preparation to come to America, and then had been told last minute, you can't come to America. Mm-hmm. And I thought about myself. I go, listen, I came to America. I was 6 years old, and I thought, wow, what if I landed at JFK and they told me and my family, you can't come in, you got to go back. And we had to go back to the revolution and an oppressive regime, and just the trauma that would cause my family and me as a kid and my parents. And it was really personal. And so, yeah, as an immigrant, I think I'm offended. So I'm offended as an immigrant. I'm offended as an American, and I'm offended as a human being.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of offensiveness going on here.
Well, you invoked Barack Obama there as you were speaking, and it made me think about the fact that, weirdly, since Trump has come into the public sphere more, running for president, now he's president, there's a more overt form of racism going on among, as you say, immigrants even, people who probably should know better and have empathy. But there's this train of thought that maybe this is good, that it's all out in the open in America. Does America feel any more racist to you now than it was, say, when Obama was president?
I think, listen, racism has always existed, and I think a big part of racism is people not knowing others. I think that human stories, and I think that humans change other humans' minds. So it's hard for someone in the middle of America to hate Syrian refugees if they have befriended some Syrians and they go, oh, these guys were just normal people trying to live their lives. It's so easy to just watch Fox News and demonize the whole culture and go, oh, they're all trying to get us. They're not out to get us. I mean, really what the people of the Middle East want from Americans is for Americans to go to the Middle East and spend money in those countries.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what any country wants. And so the racism has existed. I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing that, oh, now I know who the racists are. I think that we knew it was there. I think that Barack Obama becoming president actually started amping it up even more.
Yeah.
There's definitely, people can make arguments that even people in Congress were making racist statements and saying, oh, we're not going to pass a single law that this guy tries to pass.
Yeah, yeah.
Mitch McConnell, I think, said that famously.
Yeah.
So that, I think, amped up the racism. I think some people were probably upset at having a black president. And now with this guy coming out and saying the things he says, I mean, there's just so much that they try to hide as patriotism. I mean, the fact that Trump gets away with claiming that Obama is not American and that he is Muslim and that he wasn't born in America, and then later on he comes and says, "Oh no, he was obviously convinced to take that back at one point during the campaign," and then he blames Hillary Clinton for starting it. He goes, "She started it, and I just ended it by claiming that he is American." I mean, that's just racist. Why is it that all the other white presidents that white men that became president of the United States were never asked to present a long form birth certificate?
Yeah,
that's just so that's racism. So I don't know if it's a good thing that it's out. I actually think that it's a sad thing that some of these people that are racist feel that, oh, because my president is saying these things, now people go like, oh, it's a different administration now. Trump is president. You see clips of people, saying racist stuff. There was some guy in a car, I think in New York, yelling at some like what looked like an immigrant in a car.
Yeah, and
he was saying things like, Trump is president. They've become emboldened.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and I don't think that's a good thing. I think that these guys are stupid idiots, and I wish that they would open their eyes a little bit and again realize that these people that are here, that are immigrants, just want a better life,
Yeah. Well, it's given me pause walking down the street myself as a racialized person. So I hear what you're saying there. Unfortunately, I wish I had more time with you, Maz, but I think we're almost done. I guess very quickly, can you talk about what's coming up next? You mentioned that you've got this Netflix special. I know Superior Donuts is a going concern. What else is going on?
Yeah, so the Netflix special will hopefully come out in the summer. Superior Donuts, we got a season 2. So excited about that. And then I will be hosting the Just for Laughs ethnic show over the summer through most of July. I'll be there. We have a great lineup together of people from different ethnic backgrounds, and people should come check it out. Not just because it won't just be only ethnic material. We talk about our ethnic backgrounds, but we also talk about being parents or husbands or wives or whoever's on the list. I mean, there's a good lineup always. The ethnic show is always a very strong show. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited, and I've just found out that it's Canada's 150th and Montreal's 375th. So it's going to be a great time to be in Montreal. And that's the next big thing that I got coming up on the calendar. Oh, and I get to give the commencement speech at UC Berkeley in May, so that'll be exciting as well.
Congratulations. Yeah. That's great.
Thanks, man.
Good for you. Yeah. Well, for more information, people can go to your site, maybe? Maz, is that the best place?
MazJabroni.com has all of my upcoming dates, and I'm also on social media on @MazJabroni on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. They can follow me. I update those all the time, and that's it. Yeah, I'm out in the world, just living life.
Well, it was really, really great to talk to you, Maz, and I wish you the best of luck with everything. Thanks for being on this show.
Thanks, Vish. I appreciate that.
Short and sweet chat with Maz Jabroni. Thank you, Maz, for being on this show, however briefly. Hopefully we get to talk more sometime. If you are in the Montreal area this July for Just for Laughs, go to the whole thing, but also make a special point to see Maz there when he's in town for the 19 performances he's doing of the ethnic show in July. I'm sure he'll do his own stand-up at some point in July as well. So there you go. This is the 315th episode of Creative Control with Vish Khanna, which is a podcast that I've been making for many years now, and it's available on all podcast platforms that you can imagine. It's also now on YouTube. I synced it up so the episodes are going on to the YouTube. And not many listens yet, but I haven't really made a big deal of it. It's just the audio of the show. Anyway, yeah, it's everywhere. You can learn more about it at vishkhanna.com. That's my website. You go to patreon.com/creative control to make a flexible monthly donation to the podcast version of the program. Another version of the show airs every Wednesday at noon around the world at cfru.ca, or if you're in the area at CFRU 93.3 FM in Guelph, Ontario. And we're on Facebook, and we're on Twitter at Vish Creative as well. This episode would not be possible without our sponsors, of course, the finest pizzeria in Guelph, Pizza Trocadero, whom you can call for pickup or delivery at 519-829-2444, or check them out at trocaderoguelph.ca. Also, The Bookshelf, an independently owned bookstore, bar, music venue, movie theater, and more. That's located at 41 Quebec Street in Guelph. Go to bookshelf.ca for more info there. And for the finest coffee anywhere, try Planet Bean freshly roasted, fair trade, certified organic coffee. They have locations in Guelph, where I live, but they also distribute their coffee beans throughout Ontario. Visit planetbeancoffee.com. If you haven't heard, the Long Night with Vish Khanna TV show, we made 6 episodes back at the beginning of, or rather the end of January, and they're finally airing 6 episodes of this talk show that I made with some crew and friends and really great guests. They are beginning to air on 5TV1 beginning May 1st, and we're having a little launch party in Toronto at Longboat Hall on May 3rd from 6 to 8 p.m., which is, the Longboat Hall is right below the Great Hall, 1087 Queen Street West. You're welcome to come. Come on out, say hi. We're just going to hang out. Maybe we'll do a little, actually, I'm going to do a little on-air interview. Aliyah Pabani of the Imposter podcast is going to interview me briefly just to talk about the show a little bit. Otherwise, just going to be a little social. So check it out. And the trailer is now up on my on the Creative Control Facebook page, and it's circulating on other things too. So yeah, Long Night with Vish Khanna is real. It's a real filmed TV talk show, and it was a lot of fun. So I hope you will check it out. Great guests on the show, and also I'm not going to spoil it because you discover it on your own. The audio from those episodes will be featured on this show sometime this summer. So that's the other reason. I'll just, if you discover it, you discover it, but I'm not going to spill all the beans, okay? That's it for me. Thanks for listening to this short episode of the show, and back with more great episodes very soon. You have yourselves a nice weekend, if it is the weekend. If it's not, go back to work. You're slacking. I can tell. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.